Hi, Allison. I'm really sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I explained what happened in my email. So I'm going to try to answer your questions one at a time here. So the first one is for part A, I got 6 and it was way off. So for part A, I think you're probably, it looks like from what you're saying here that you've used the wrong formula. You have to use this formula here because this is a frequency distribution, because we've grouped everything into a tally chart and everything's in intervals now. And so unless you're working with individual data values where it's just a list of numbers, then you have to use this new formula, okay? What's missing from the chart is a couple of things. One thing is the cumulative frequency, and that's the FC that we're looking for. And so as you go down the chart, you need to add up these numbers as you go along, and so you have the cumulative frequency. Oops. Let me just add those up for you here. Okay, so those are numbers that we're going to need. And then the other thing that we need is the cumulative percent. And so that's just going to help us find the right interval to start with. And so if we take the percent out of 40, like if we take, that's not right. Sorry, 10 out of 40 should be 25. Sorry. Okay, that should be 25%. 20 out of 40 should be 50%, and so on. So if you carry on down there, 80, 90, 100, okay? And they're not lining up anymore because my stylus is so bulky, it's not able to write it small enough. If we add those numbers to the chart, then when we're looking for the 65th percentile for P65, then we're going to use this formula here, and Lx is the lowest value in the interval where the 65th percentile is going to occur. That's why we needed the percents, because the 65th percentile is going to occur in this one when we get to 70. We're only at 50 before that, and the next group gets us to 70. And so that hooks up to the 30 to 40 interval. And so 30 is the lowest value in the interval. Each interval is 10 numbers, so that's what the I stands for. The n times x is 40 is our n, that's how many data values we have in total. And x is our percentile value, which is 65. That's over 100. We're going to subtract the cumulative frequency, the sum of the cumulative frequency from that, which is 20, because that's the cumulative frequency in the class, below the class containing the x percentile. And so we're actually looking one row above, and that's why we end up with 20 there. And then on the bottom, we're going to divide by the fx value, which is the number of observations in the class containing the percentile that we're trying to get. And so that's going to be 8. So if we work this out, we have 30 plus, and then we're going to have to simplify the bracket, and we're going to end up with 40 times, that's 65, not 15 there. So what we end up with here, if I've done my math right, is I think 26 minus 20 over 8, which is going to be 6 over 8, or decimal 7.5, and so 30 plus 10 times decimal 7.5 gives us 30 plus 7.5, and that's why the answer is 37.5, okay? So if we move on to your second question here, the sigma FC just means the sum of the cumulative frequencies up to that point. And so that's the value, that's where I got the 20 from in this one. That's the total so far in the row above the one where we find our percentile that we're looking for. Now, for the example, I've got the example from the content page here, and let me just move this so that I can see everything here. Oops, sorry. Okay. And your question is about where all these things are coming from. I think maybe we've answered that one a little bit just because they're not using the old formula anymore. We're actually using this new formula, the more complicated one that we've got listed right here. And it tells you where it's getting all of these values from, and the cumulative frequency below the class containing the X percentile. In this case, that value is the 151 because there's the cumulative frequency, because this is the class or the interval that contains the percentile we're looking for, and so that's why we use the cumulative frequency from the row above. So I hope that that helps you. Please email me back if it doesn't, and I'll definitely help you some more on this, okay?